Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We have breaking news out of Washington, D.C. and General Motors World Headquarters. The president has issued an order using the Defense Production Act that will force General Motors to now produce ventilators.
All right, Mara, also breaking right now, Detroit's police chief, James Craig, has now tested positive for coronavirus. And now the national map shows a potential hotspot over southeast Michigan and only getting hotter at the moment. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 5. Right to the very latest headlines today in the fight against COVID-19 here in Michigan and Metro Detroit.
801 new cases brings the total to 3,657. And as a result, there have been 92 deaths to date.
That as the city of Detroit opened a drive-up testing center today at the state fairgrounds.
And now Mayor Duggan confirms 468 Detroit police officers are in quarantine. We're going to get to all those stories, but we want to start with Mayor Duggan making that stark announcement about the Detroit officers. Listen.
We are going to continue to ramp up the protection of our police officers. It is right now our highest priority. We have 39 officers who have tested positive for COVID-19. We have 468 officers on quarantine. We've got 35 back in the last day or so. We've got 119 in the process of being brought back.
So many new cases in the city of Detroit. It's proving that Wayne County is turning into a hotspot.
Let's get to our Sean Leahy's live with that part of the story for us tonight. Sean.
And Kimberly, even the Surgeon General of the United States today pointing right to Detroit and Wayne County, saying this is now a hot zone that is only going to get hotter. We've seen the number of cases skyrocket in just days. Young, middle-aged, the elderly in Wayne County and Detroit testing positive for coronavirus. The U.S. Coronavirus Task Force now focused on Wayne County as an emerging hot zone for the virus. The city of Detroit also becoming a big concern for federal, state, and local officials. Quickly heading towards 1,000 cases, it is spreading like wildfire.
And as I mentioned, some of the increase is due to an increase in available testing at Henry Ford and, of course, with the drive-through testing available.
Tonight, we are asking Mayor Duggan what it's going to take to slow this virus down in the city.
You know, the reality is every one of us has interacted with somebody who has COVID-19. That's southeastern Michigan. That is the reality. And I will keep saying the same thing over and over. This virus wants to jump to a new host. And it can jump to a new host off of surfaces.
Just how bad is it in the city of Detroit? The city health department putting out this map on the city's website. The map shows the number of COVID-19 cases in the city of Detroit. The red represents hot spots with higher numbers of cases, but you'll notice there are few areas of red and much more green, showing the virus is widespread in the city.
The great majority of the spreading is occurring in person-to-person contact. And I think we're all getting to the point where we all know people.
Back here live, let's also talk about Wayne County. The health department telling us the spike they're seeing there due more to testing and more results coming in, but also consider this, quote, the makeup of our 43 communities includes densely packed neighborhoods and shopping centers, from apartment complexes and condos to restaurants and supermarkets throughout. This means more exposure and transmission of the virus. Devin, Kimberly, we're right outside the Detroit testing area here at the fairgrounds. Also a very busy grocery store behind us where people are coming and going nonstop. There's also a message board sign on a truck going around saying staying home saves lives. Back to you.
All right, Sean, we are expecting to hear from the president tonight on his decision a short time ago to invoke the Defense Production Act to force General Motors to make ventilators.
That announcement came after the president had some choice words on Twitter this morning for GM and CEO Mary Barra. Mara McDonald joins us live from GM World Headquarters tonight with the president's tweets and GM's swift response. Mara.
Kimberly, you know, I guess we should have seen this coming because the president tweeted out, "Invoke P" in one of his tweets today. Take a look. Before the president decided to use the Defense Production Act this afternoon, he fired off a volley of tweets earlier today aimed at General Motors, criticizing the automaker for shuttering Lordstown and the speed at which it is moving to produce ventilators, also singling out Mary Barra. He also foreshadowed what was to come this afternoon by putting in that tweet, "Invoke P."
I've talked to the CEOs every single day. There's clearly a lack of direct communication between the president and General Motors.
Before the president's order, GM, for its part, had said that ventilators will be produced in connection with Ventec at its Kokomo, Indiana plant, and that GM is contributing its resources at cost. GM and Ventec hope to have the first delivery of ventilators ready next month. Precisely what that number will be is unclear, but they're working toward a manufacturing capacity of 10,000 ventilators a month once production is ramped up. Back here live after the president decided to use the Defense Production Act this afternoon, GM putting out a statement which in part says that they have been working around the clock for a week trying to ramp up for this production and that they are 100% behind it with their suppliers. In addition, General Motors is opening up its Warren plant to produce grade 1 level surgical masks. That is expected to get up off the ground next week. They expect to start being able to produce about 50,000 of those surgical masks shortly. We're live downtown tonight at General Motors World Headquarters. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, a distressing letter written by the Henry Ford Health System has quickly made its way across social media.
Letter says, in part, quote, "Because of shortages, we need to be careful with resources. Patients who have the best chance of getting better are our first priority. Patients will be evaluated for the best plan of care, and dying patients will be provided comfort care," end of quote.
And this has understandably created a very concerned reaction by anybody reading it. We should point out, though, that this policy is not in effect right now. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with the real story behind the letter, Doc.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, you know, a concerned reaction is normal, and it has caused some people to question if they should go to a different hospital or even go to a different part of the state for their care. Let me answer that immediately. In an emergency, you should always go to the nearest appropriate hospital. Here's the big picture with this letter, though. Hospital systems across the country are drafting letters just like the one that was prematurely released by someone inside the Henry Ford Health System. In fact, draft versions of that exact letter were shared with other hospitals as medical ethicists and physicians come together everywhere to make plans as the pandemic worsens.
The contents of the letter are clear. It describes the course that will be necessary when we enter crisis care and are no longer able to provide standard care, but it was prematurely leaked.
We've not initiated that protocol. We've not sent the patients any letters. And we have no immediate plan, and hopefully we'll never have to activate such a document or such processes.
While everyone is hopeful that situation can be averted, hospitals in Southeast Michigan are getting close. That's why Wednesday evening, the state's chief medical executive set the plan in motion to transfer patients to hospitals elsewhere that have available capacity. Every hospital system has similar contingency plans.
If we reach this worst case scenario, our overall goal is to reduce mortality as much as possible and provide our limited resources to all of those patients that we think have the best chance of surviving.
They want to reassure the community.
As physicians, we want to provide the best for our patients. We want our patients to do better. We want them to be back with their families, supporting their families, loving their families, and we'll continue to work with these principles. We are not going to let a pandemic change our culture, change who we are. And I want to reassure our communities that we are there for them and will continue to be there for them.
So let me be completely clear. This letter does not represent any active current policy at any hospital in Michigan, but its existence behind a virtual break glass of emergency barrier is a very clear message that if things don't turn around and move to crisis care, decisions like these will be necessary. And in that vein, I'm going to be back at 6 with something really important that everyone needs to consider. Back to you.
All right, Frank, we will see you then. Help is on the way to American families through the largest economic rescue package in U.S. history. President Trump has just signed the emergency coronavirus relief bill this afternoon. Alice Barr tells us about the last-minute drama it took to get there. Alice?
Devin, the record assistance package was finally approved this afternoon, but fears it could be delayed prompted a 24-hour scramble of lawmakers leaving their homes and driving or flying back to Washington at taxpayer expense.
A lifeline is coming to main streets across America, devastated by the coronavirus crisis.
The motion is adopted.
The House approving a $2.2 trillion emergency relief bill to send money directly to millions of Americans, as well as hospitals, small businesses, major corporations, and state and local governments.
We have our differences, but we also know what is important to us. And America's families are important for us.
To the American public, we hear you, and we're working for you.
The largest rescue package in U.S. history passed through a fast-tracked voice vote, but not without some last-minute Washington drama.
I'm going to give you more time.
Hundreds of lawmakers forced to race back to the Capitol in the middle of a pandemic to block a single representative, Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie, who tried to derail the vote. On Twitter, President Trump saying Massie should be thrown out of the GOP. The president also sending mixed messages on the critical shortage of life-saving ventilators, downplaying the need on Fox News last night.
I don't believe you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators. You know, you go into major hospitals sometimes, they'll have 2 ventilators, and now all of a sudden they're saying, can we order 30,000 ventilators?
After fierce backlash, the president tweeting today, General Motors and Ford need to start building ventilators. It comes amid growing calls for President Trump to start enforcing the Defense Production Act to compel companies to manufacture critical medical equipment to fight the coronavirus. With cases mounting quickly, Vice President Mike Pence saying today the president's goal of reopening the country by Easter is aspirational, promising data will decide when it's safe to start putting America back to work.
With jobless claims surging to record highs, the relief package includes expanded unemployment benefits and also $1,200 direct payments sent to most Americans within the next 3 weeks. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, now to a rocky day on Wall Street. At the end of the trading day today, the Dow was down 3%. Even after a major rally this week, the market is still down 25% since the peak reached about a month ago.
Governor Whitmer shedding some light today on the status of the rest of the school year. In an interview this morning with WWJ, Governor says it is very unlikely that K-12 schools will reopen this year. Whitmer's office tells Local 4 she should announce plans next week on making sure seniors graduate and that no child is held back. Coming up at 6, reaction from parents and also from members of the teachers union.
All right, much more ahead on this busy Friday. Here's Ben.
Kim and Devin, got to keep our eyes to the skies as we get into the weekend. The storm threat looks a little bit larger than what we were looking at yesterday. We'll talk timing and see who's under the gun next.
The Macomb County prosecutor Eric Smith now officially charged on corruption charges, what his lawyer had to say in the courtroom in his defense.
A Wayne State student and his family stuck in Peru because of travel restrictions, but I'll show you how they were finally able to make their way home.